Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Kathy. Hey, my family is all here. Hey, family. Hey, y'all. It's so good to reconnect again. Oh my gosh. Hey, everybody. Hey. Don't forget, come on in, make yourself comfortable. Sit down, get a snack. Hey, C-Bar. Y'all have no idea. I missed you all so much. I've been trading with the same people for the last 30 days. I don't know how long it's been. And you miss your folks when you don't see them every day. Hey, everybody. Well, let me get this housekeeping out of the way. Welcome. My name is Sandra, and welcome to my channel From Lack to Legacy. On this channel, we're all things money, mindset, and investing, particularly how to go from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, you have found your people. That's what we do here on my channel. I usually start, like if I do a video, I start with an abundance quote or an abundance affirmation. And you guys will see today is no different. The abundance quote for today is gratitude for all that we have leads to abundance in all that we desire. I mean, that's like a no brainer. I think we've discussed this so many times that gratitude is the key to abundance. Giving is the key to abundance, not holding on, not hoarding, not collecting, not all of those things. And so I have had the most abundant year in the last year. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because it's time for me to move on. I'm wrapping up a chapter. Yes, I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up here in PDC. And I guess I felt it was necessary to do this because so many people asked me, "Hey, Francis. Oh, hey, Nirel." And I think I saw Tony and Tara. My family is all here. I so miss you guys. We had a goodbye lunch. And I know if you guys had been here, you all would have been here. I know Tara would have been here. She sent the most beautiful flowers. Thank you, Tara. I know Sonia would have been here. Tony, I miss you guys immensely. But let's just get right into it. What is tonight about? I have decided to leave PDC, and people can't believe that. Everybody's asking, like, what's wrong? What happened? Oh my God. It's nothing. Nothing is wrong. Nothing has happened. But I just think that it is time. I have completed so much work here, you guys. I think I'm ready for a new adventure. And so, what I'm going to do is I'll hold off to the very end. But some of you already know where I'm going, but I'll give you the whole itinerary, what my plans are. But in the meantime, if you guys have some questions, please drop your questions down in the chat. Put a put question marks before it, and then I'll try to catch up with you guys' questions. But I wrote notes because I don't want to leave anything out. I know that for some of you who are thinking about coming to Playa, maybe you're thinking of relocating to Playa, and you have me. You got me for the next hour or so. So if you've got questions about what it's like to move here, what it's like to expat here, what it's like to do a bop around, I'm your girl. I'll tell you what I know. I'm giving it all away for free. So I made some notes for myself because I do want to share with you the things that I absolutely love about PDC. And if you are thinking of relocating to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, you'll probably be interested in those things that I really love about it. You may love them as well, but you'll probably also want to stay tuned to the very end of the video because I'm going to share the things that I don't care about, that I don't care for in PDC, and some of the things that may have been a deal breaker for me. I don't know if there'll be deal breakers for you, but there are some things, in spite of all my cheery smiles and videos and stuff. There's some things about Playa that I don't like, and that I think I could probably maybe find a better fit someplace else. So, without further ado, don't forget, if you got questions, drop them in the chat. Please don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, share, do all the things. Hit the buttons. You can't go wrong. It doesn't matter which button. I don't think you can go wrong any of the buttons that you hit. But, oh, and Marilyn, Marilyn, can you moderate tonight? That would be helpful because it's going to be tough for me to get to the questions, I think. And I don't want to miss anybody's questions. So let me just jump in and tell you guys some of the things that I absolutely love and adore about my favorite Mexican beach town, Playa del Carmen. And you've probably heard these all before. But the first thing that is probably a positive, and if you're looking to relocate here, proximity to the United States. Proximity, meaning that you can get to Playa del Carmen, which is located in Quintana Roo, the state of Quintana Roo in Mexico, just south of Cancun. Cancun is an international airport. You can fly from just about any destination in the States into Cancun. I always get a direct flight from Chicago. It's very inexpensive. So, proximity, ease of getting from the States, and also time zone. There isn't that big time zone change. That was one of the number one reasons that made me select Playa del Carmen. And if you are concerned, if you are thinking of relocating here, and you have family that's back in the States, whether they're children or elderly parents, I know a lot of us are caught in the middle, like me. I have adult children, but I also have aging family as well. And so if you're caught in the middle, hey, Sandra, if you're caught in the middle of the generations like that, and you need to be close and you might need to get home quickly, Playa is a great choice. It's a great location for that. So that was one of the reasons I selected Playa. And it's one of the reasons I stayed so long because I knew I could get back and forth. There's an international airport. Really, really, really convenient. Another reason, if you're thinking about relocating to Playa del Carmen, if you want to know why I love this place so much, why I was singing the praises of Playa, I mean, I was singing from the rooftops. It's ease of matriculation. There's a low barrier of entry. If you don't speak Spanish, I mean, seriously, you could come to Playa and make a life for yourself, even if your Spanish isn't top notch. Because I think when I rolled into town, I had the Spanish of maybe a preschooler. I knew some colors, some numbers, some food words. I knew a little Spanish. I had a base, but over the course of 1 year, I have gone from a preschooler to the vocabulary of maybe a first grader. My Spanish has definitely improved. I didn't take any formal classes. I did Duolingo. I talk to taxi drivers. I talk to people in Spanish. My housekeeper who comes to help, the cleaning lady, she will speak to me in English. She never does. And so I appreciate that. Although it's difficult and it's frustrating, it has helped me improve my Spanish. Think about it seriously. If you're looking for a place, you're trying to expat, Playa might be one you want to put on your list. I still stand by that, even though I'm leaving after a year. And there are some definite reasons. Again, stay tuned to the end. I won't let you down. I'm gonna tell you all that grubby too. But if you're thinking about it, I want you to know the positives or the things that made this a wonderful place for me to spend over a year. Because I'm going into almost 14, 15 months now that I've been in Playa. So certainly proximity, time zone, if you're working remotely, if that's a concern, if your parent company is in the United States, Playa is a great place for that. Ease of matriculation, low barrier entry. Culturally, there's some similar things, like there's some similar holidays, so that when you get here, it won't be such a culture shock. Like I couldn't imagine relocating to Japan or China or Korea. I would imagine that there is some degree of culture shock that may take some getting used to. Where there's some cultural shocks here, relocating for me, coming to Playa. For the most part, there wasn't that much culture shock. There are cultural differences that I enjoyed, not that I was shocked by, things that I enjoyed. And one of those things that I enjoyed was that there is a welcoming Black community here in Playa, alive, thriving, growing, networking. So if you need that, if you know that you're interested in a place where there's a thriving Black community, that you don't have to come and create a community and do make all the group. You don't have to do that. It's already here for you. That's another reason why I love Playa del Carmen. I'm telling you, Playa was well, if I had to make a list, and this was a person's first time leaving the United States, I would definitely recommend Playa. I say Playa is like expating with training wheels because you have all these built-in supports in this city that are already here. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And when I tell you everybody is welcome here. Everybody. I don't care if you're Black, white, gay, straight, whatever. I felt very welcome from my initial approach from the first days that I was here. And I have friends from all walks of life, and nobody has shared with me, not to my knowledge, that they were made to feel unwelcome or that they felt othered it's just a variety of people here. The diversity in Playa is real. We all know that Canadians come here, snowbirds. We know that there are a lot of Russians here. It's an international scene. Lots of people from the US come and expat here. I want to say that Playa is in the top 10 cities of places where people expat to from the US, especially if we're talking about Mexican cities. So if you're thinking about expating, if you're thinking about a sabbatical, if you know that your Spanish is weak and you're going to need a little support, I'm telling you, I promise you, Playa del Carmen could possibly be the place for you. So there's a welcoming Black community. I also mentioned that there is a place for everybody here. That's what my sense is. Everybody is welcome here. Um, what else? I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out. There's a place for everyone. Also, Playa, just like many Mexican cities these days, is family oriented. It is not uncommon to see an entire family on the beach together. It is not uncommon to see an entire family walking down the street, at the park, out after dark together, mother, grandmas, the children, strollers. And I appreciate that because I feel like sometimes in America has a very youth centered culture. And it is so very easy for women of a particular age, like myself, to feel absolutely invisible in America. You can feel othered really easily and dismissed or marginalized. And I can honestly say that that has not been my experience in Playa del Carmen. And I think for me, that's what makes this place so charming is that everybody is welcome. You don't feel othered. I am older. And so I like being able to go to a multi generational event. Sometimes I'm single, I'm solo. I want to make sure that I'm comfortable in all settings, and Playa has provided that for me. I'm just going to peek over here at the chat and see. Yes, her new location. Yes, I'll tell you guys exactly. That's the teaser. You already know. Most of y'all already know where I'm going, but I'll tell you guys at the end exactly. I'll give you my entire itinerary as safely as I can. But before we get to that, I definitely want you guys to understand that the reason I'm leaving Playa has nothing to do with Playa del Carmen, and it has everything to do with me and evolving in this journey. And as I learn myself as a traveler, as I begin to flush out what I want, because I'm not on sabbatical, I'm retired. This is a way of life for me. And so as I hash those things out, it gets clearer. I promise you all, when I left my house almost 14 months ago, I didn't even know what kind of traveler I was. So I'm going to pause right there because that's important. And I wrote notes about this too. Things you might want to nail down and know about yourself before you hit the road. I don't want anybody to make the same mistakes I made. So I think so many of us share our experiences in an effort to make it easier for the person coming behind us. And so I'm going to pause right there and just kind of slow it down and tell you all what I wish I had known before I hit the road, before I even came out. I didn't have any second thoughts about this was what I wanted to do. But guys, I did not know. Did you guys know there's a difference between a slow traveler, that's an option, expatting, that's a totally different beast, taking a sabbatical, doing a bop around? All of those things are very different. And I think it's imperative that if you're going to do this and you want to be efficient, because I did, not probably, y'all. I blew through a whole bunch of money because I really didn't understand what I wanted, and I'm not mad at it because I had the experiences and I learned. But if I can save you from coming out on the road and then figuring out what kind of traveler you are, that's not the time to figure it out. So I would caution you that if you're still home, if you're still in the US and you're thinking about a place, and Playa might be on your list, two thumbs up. I still say Playa's it's the best place. It's like expatting with train wheels. You will be safe here. There are built-in supports and the community is great. But even before you walk out the house, I would caution you to do some research. Do you want to slow travel? And for me, I think that's where I have settled. I'm a slow traveler. I like to get to a place and stay 3 to 6 months, maybe a year, like I stayed in Playa, but definitely 3 months minimally so that I can really get settled, really pick up the culture of the place. To be honest with you, 3 to 6 months is better for me. 6 months at a time is a good span of time. You can get to know people in the community. That's my style. Well, when I first arrived at Playa, I didn't know that. And I instantly engaged in the bop around. And for those of you that don't know what the bop around is where you go from place to place and you can stay, usually it's a short period of time, from maybe a week to 2 weeks. And the bop around is great, I think, if you got a lot of energy, a little bit of luggage, a lot of money, and a lot of patience, because there's planning. The bop around for me is probably the most time consuming, the most expensive way to travel because you're constantly on the go. So when I got to Playa in November of, what was it? It's not 2021. It was approaching high season. You guys want to be mindful of when you're arriving, particularly in Playa. I arrived in November and man, I was shocked because it was high season. And while you could find places, the prices were elevated and I wasn't prepared for that. So no problem. My travel buddy and I, we decided to do the bop around and we did. And it was great. We left Playa. I went to Merida, hot as heck. Personally, this is just my personal opinion. And Merida's a little bit of a snooze fest. I did not find my place in Merida, but Merida is beautiful. It is inexpensive. Merida to me would make a great landing place and a home base because you could maintain for very little money and still have a budget to bounce around or to travel sporadically or however you want to. So I like Merida. If you're budget conscious, because you can get really inexpensive places in Merida, if you don't mind the heat, you can use that as a home base and then travel from there. Merida's great for that. Playa, not so much, because you'll have to really, be conscientious about what you're spending on accommodations here in Playa. And I think it's much easier to find affordable, very affordable housing in Merida, just a little bit easier. So that was the first place we went. But Merida inevitably was not for me. Merida's too hot again. It's too slow. I like it for retired seniors who want a garden, you want a house, you got a family. I think those people enjoy Merida. If you're single and you're ready to mingle, you want a day. I don't know if Merida is your place. But for families, I know families that love it. I know women who want houses so that they can have yards and garden. They love it there because that's not really something that you're going to find in Playa, a yard for gardening and that kind of stuff. You can, but that's not as common. So pay attention to what time of year you're arriving, particular when you're arriving in Playa. High season, I would not recommend that you come during high season. High season can start as early as November through, and it can run through, say, February before prices, you really start to see prices coming down. But I will tell you this, Playa is very different this year than it was last year because last year during the pandemonium, nobody had any place else to go and it was really overcrowded. It's not as crowded this year. So if you're coming around this time and realtors or renters and landlords are telling you, oh, you better hurry up because inventory's short, don't believe it. There's plenty of inventory. Prices may still be a bit elevated, but don't rush into picking something because you feel like inventory is short. There's plenty of inventory. Plenty of inventory. So I did the bop around. Bob to Merida, then went to Campeche, which is beautiful. Another city I couldn't see myself living in because when I tell you tourists come there, but it isn't a tourist town. It's beautiful, it's very affordable, but you would be making a community there. If you could be okay with just having your online community, Campeche is definitely worth a look. Beautiful, it's small, it's walkable, it's reasonably priced. It's right on the Gulf of Mexico. They don't have a beach there, but you do have water access. There isn't a beach like walking from Centro, but there's a beach within a few miles of there. You certainly have beach access, but it's not like we walk to the beach in Playa. So from Merida, we went to Campeche. Then I went to San Cristobal de las Casas. You want to talk about beautiful? That's in the mountains of Mexico. Oh my God. If you have not been to San Cristobal, it is gorgeous. It is green. The only thing about it, because it's in the mountains and at a higher elevation, it's cold in the mountains, people. That I had an actual coat, a hat, scarf, gloves, everything but boots. There was no snow, but it was absolutely cold. So we stayed there for a little bit. Then I bopped to Mexico City. And honestly, Mexico City gave Playa del Carmen a run for her money. Mexico City is a world class city. It is one of those places. If you are considering Playa because you like beach towns, then that's Playa. But if you're open to a city experience, and I don't want you to be afraid when you hear Mexico City and how big it is, because the way Mexico is laid out, it's like small neighborhoods within a big city. You feel like you're in a small town, depending on the neighborhood. There are beautiful neighborhoods like Juarez and Roma Norte. Polanco is really nice. I mean, I don't know if people want to go live there because it's pretty expensive. I got a lash doing something. Um, Lots of beautiful neighborhoods. So Mexico City is a strong second for me, you all. When I talk in terms of parks, museums, um, architecture, culture, history, public transportation. Yes, they have Uber, they have Beat, they have several rideshare apps that are available in Mexico City. So if you are interested in, if you're thinking about it, if you think you're leaning more city, I say try Mexico City. The only two things that kind of made me a little leery about Mexico City was one, the weather was cold. You have to wear real clothes there in Mexico City. Excuse me? You have to wear shoes and a jacket and sleeves and like jeans and clothes. I was totally ill prepared. Yes, Mexico City is a whole vibe. Mexico City is a whole vibe, y'all. Go. It's worth a look see. It is really Barcelona used to be my favorite. It still is. Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. Mexico City gives Barcelona a run for its money. The only thing Mexico City doesn't have that Barcelona has is the Mediterranean Sea. But Mexico City has mountains nearby. It's got the most beautiful parks, y'all. Just take my word for it. Then I bounced through Puebla. which is great. Puebla's got great food. That's all I know about Puebla. I didn't spend much time there, but Puebla's got great food. And then I came back to Playa and I spent the entire year, an entire year consistently. I went home once. So, as for different travel styles, that bop around, when I got back to Playa, I pulled in town half past dead. I was like, I am done. I am too old. I'm not going to say that. I think that takes a particular kind of stamina to withstand that. I did that for almost 2 months. I left in November. I came back in January. And I'm telling you, I was beat. Yes, Tracy's been to CDMX. CDMX is amazing. Amazing. So even if you aren't thinking of expatting to a big city like that, please put it on your list. Mexico City is not to be missed. So we've talked about two kinds of travel styles. One is the slow traveler, which is what I discovered after my bop around. That ain't for me. I'm a slow traveler. I like to go to a place, stay 3 to 6 months, absorb all the culture, immerse myself, maybe volunteer, do something. Eat the best foods, go to their best places. That's how I'm rolling. I'm coming to see. Show me your best stuff. I want to see your best stuff. So if you're a slow traveler, then that's something to consider. If you think that you want to do the bop around, I would just caution you to pace yourself, take very good care of yourself, and pay attention to your pacing, because you can wear yourself out and you can run through a sizable amount of money very quickly. Take it from me. I did. But I wouldn't change anything because I learned, now I know that's not how I want to travel. Everyone knows what a sabbatical is. A sabbatical is where you have decided to step away from your normal job or your business for a select period of time with the intent of returning. Or maybe you'll be out for an extended period of time, but it isn't your expatting just yet. So if you're taking a sabbatical and you're coming to Playa del Carmen, by all means, I think it's the perfect place to sabbatical, because 9 times out of 10, if you're on a sabbatical, you're resting, relaxing, and trying to rejuvenate. And Playa is the place for that. Let me get to this because I have that in my notes too. Playa has some of the best self-care services. World, come on now. I've been to some really beautiful spas. Playa's got beautiful spas, beautiful rooftops, beach clubs, anything that you want to do. You want sound healing? We got you. You want your chakras aligned? We got you. You need massages, facials, you need body scrubs, you need teas made, handmade, whatever. I am telling you, if it's about wellness, health, alignment, it's available here in PDC. They've got alternative plant medicine. I don't personally partake, but it's here for you. If that's something that you're interested in, it's here. And when I tell you that there are restaurants, yes, Angela knows the restaurants. Hey, you can find everything from a 16 peso taco. Yeah, we were on the hunt for the 16 peso tacos. We found the 19 peso tacos, but there are 16 peso tacos right here. That's less than $1. Yes, you can eat an entire meal. Delicious tacos. I'm not talking about just, some fly by night. I'm talking about delicious tacos. Have an agua fresca, a fresh juice. We all ate. It was me and some of my homies from Exodus from Chicago for less than $5. Complete meal. On the other end of the spectrum, you can go to Harry's Steakhouse and spend $200 on a meal, all within 15 minutes walking distance. So if you are into the culinary scene, I will say this. I'm not going to shoot y'all any sunshine because I promised I would tell y'all the truth, the pure, unadulterated truth. I am a foodie. Playa is not my favorite in terms of a foodie town. What I'm saying to you is that everything's available. You have some really nice restaurants. But if you come from a food city, New York, Chicago, LA, if you come from food towns, you'll understand what I'm saying. Tracy said yes for the agua frescas. Yes, you can get delicious agua frescas, y'all. But I don't want to oversell this restaurant scene to you guys because this might be the last time I get a chance to talk to you all as a collective. And I want to give you my honest everything. I want you to, you can ask me questions when we get to the end. That might be easier. Just let me get it all out. But restaurants, delicious restaurants, all, I mean, unique restaurants. We went to a restaurant that was in a cave with real stalactites, bats. I mean, it was beautiful. They had an underground cellar, wine cellar, gorgeous. Meal run you about $125. It was beautiful. That's a luge, ALUX. If you're in Playa, go, but don't eat. Just get the cocktails. I'm telling y'all. I should have told y'all, get pencil and paper because you're gonna need notes. The Cave restaurant is beautiful. It is a must do. And I believe it's pronounced a luge. Angela went, we all went. It's ALUX. If you're in Playa, please go. Please go. Please go. But I would not have the entire meal. I would just go for maybe dessert or drinks because it's such a pricey place and the food is not that delicious. Yes, I said it. It isn't. But in terms of restaurants here in Playa, you can find unique experiences. You can dine in a cenote. Come on, where else can you do that? You can dine in a cave. You can dine on the rooftop. You can dine on the beach. One of my favorite, write this one down. I'm telling y'all. Okay, I'll get to emergency medical care. One of my favorite beach restaurants is Inti, INTI. Write it down. The food is top notch. I don't know who's cooking this food, y'all. I promise you, every time I go there, I want to go in the kitchen and kiss the cook. I just want to go and kiss the cook. The food is so delicious. They bring it to you on the beach. It's candlelit. I don't care. I go alone. It's perfect if you have a spouse, a date. It's a lovely romantic. It really is. But when I tell y'all I roll up in there alone, I've gone alone. One time Sonia and I went, and I've gone alone at least 3 or 4 times by myself. It's beautiful. You can catch the sunset. A woman comes out, does a fire show. Please put NT Beach Club on your list for wonderful dinner spots. Take your sweetie or go by yourself like I do. I'll crash a party all by myself. I don't need any help. And the food is delicious. Drinks are on point, everything. Tad bit pricey, but not too much. Not so much that you'll be like, it's out of our range. No, no, no. Very reasonably priced. So just to recap, in terms of restaurants, you can find everything from a 17-cent taco to $150 steak dinner. And I'm talking, you can go higher than that too in Playa. Let's be clear. Playa has some top shelf stuff. But coming from a food town where there is a variety of high quality Thai food. In Chicago, you can get any cuisine known to man. And I don't find that here in Playa as much. I mean, they'll have it, but it might not just. So if you're a foodie, I give Playa in terms of foodie talk maybe a 6 or a 7. I'm sorry, I said it. All foodies will understand. Foodies will get it. That's not, mm, that's it's. But you can find good food. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so we talked about Playa being a family-oriented place, a place for everyone. Oh, I got to tell you all this too, because it's a beach town, and because I'm a woman of a certain age. Baby, Playa's beaches welcome all bodies, all body types. Yes, indeed, you will feel comfortable. If you are like in Chicago, y'all, I would never wear a bikini or a swimsuit and go sit out on the beach for fear some of my students might roll up on me or somebody I know might roll up on me. And God forbid they see these jiggly thighs, out in the sunlight. Not the case here in Playa. I promise you, you can find peace. You really can. You can be at peace with yourself here in Playa. I found it. I take these almost 60-year-old thighs out they get sunshine like everybody and everything else. I beach bodies on the beach. But then there's also grandmas on the beach too. And when I tell you grandma is coming out in her bikini, grandma coming out in her bikini. So you feel right at home because everybody is there. So if that is a concern for you, or if that has been a concern for you in the past, that whole body shaming and not feeling comfortable in your own skin, you can work that out on the beaches of Playa del Carmen. No joke. All bodies are welcome on these beaches. And I know we talked about great self care services. We talked about spas, all the natural healing, natural medicines are here. If you're into that metaphysics, any of that, you can find it right here in Playa. And hey, if that's not your thing, if your thing is you just want to lay on the beach, drink tequila, and you are very superficial, you're not trying to heal anything, you're just coming for the fun and the sun and watching some buns on the beach, have at it. This is the perfect place for that too. Nobody's going to judge you if you aren't doing your deep inner child work, if you aren't doing your shadow work. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's your journey. But if you're interested in doing work with your inner child and shadow work, and you are in search of therapists and holistic healing, and that, you will find that stuff here. Yes, I did my very first chakra alignment here. Let me tell you something. And yes, I'm shamelessly pubbing her. She doesn't even know this. This woman does not know. Her name is Kimberly from the Chakra Bar. Write it in your notes. I'm giving y'all the stuff for free. I'm giving it to you. Don't y'all remember? I know you all do. Let me tell you something. Let me time out. Let me tell y'all why. Because so many of the people here tonight are from Exodus Summit. I love y'all. I love an Exodus Summit woman because they will be patient with you. They will hold your hand. They will cry with you. They will build with you. They will stick with you to the end. I am telling you. And so a lot of the women here are from Exodus. And a lot of us are trying to, we're relocating. We're leaving America because we have been overworked and overstressed and all of those things. Baby, when I tell you, you can find some peace, you can find not just peace of mind, but you can find space to sit, be quiet, meditate. You want to meditate on the beach? You can do that. You want to go to Pilates? I promise you, in terms of holistic and healing, Playa is definitely that place. And while I'm here, we might as well talk about it. This is my personal belief, and anybody else who's here can attest to this or not if you've been here. This is my experience. If you show up to Playa with a purpose, an intention, and a plan, you can manifest in real time. I promise you, right here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I did. I did. In a year's time, I had to write it down, you guys. This is 1 year since I've been here. I'm just going to share. I had to write it down. This is what I have accomplished in 12 months. No joke. I learned a new skill. Everybody knows, y'all watched me. You heard me talk about it. I started a whole YouTube channel around starting and learning this new skill. I learned to trade right here in Mexico. I started the classes here. I finished the classes here. I placed my first trade right here in Mexico. I made my first dollars right here in Mexico trading options. I improved my Spanish. Un poquito. I think when I rolled into town, I probably had the vocabulary of a preschooler. I now have the vocabulary of a first grader. Thank you very much. I know all my color words, all my number words. I can take a taxi, order food. I can do a lot of things. And I didn't take formal lessons, but you'll pick it up because you're in the environment. You can pick up as much or as little as you like. That I did that. I got my 4-year residency while I was here. I made lifelong friends and connections. And that has probably been the best gift I could have given myself, to make healthy alliances. I have friends and sisters and a tribe now, you all. I'm talking about for real, true blue. It's so authentic. I can't really talk about it, y'all, because it makes me emotional. I promise you. And y'all don't need to see me crying because I have been crying all week saying goodbye. I'm not good at goodbyes. I did that. I was able to hire one, but two life coaches. I promise you. I went back, healed some childhood stuff, y'all. This is for real. I'm talking about in real time. I hired not one, but two life coaches. And if you guys are interested, I'll drop their information. You can hit me up if you're interested in them. They are phenomenal women One is Yolanda Evolved. Oh my goodness, please check her out. If you don't know her, she is the truth. So, what else did I do? I rested, I relaxed, I snorkeled. Y'all, I have been trying to snorkel for I can't tell you how long. I tried it in Puerto Rico, I tried it in the Bahamas, I tried it I tried it everywhere. I tried it in Jamaica. I could not do it. I don't know who the guy is, but he was so gentle. He took me and Sonia both out. Sonia was so afraid. She was there with us. And we snorkeled together. Now, that's a memory that we'll never forget. She was afraid. It was just my second time, but we did it. We conquered those fears together. And now, baby, you can't stop me from snorkeling. Anybody in Playa del Carmen, if you want to go snorkeling, see me. I'm your girl. I'm ready to go. Yep, I did that. I started a whole YouTube channel right here. Y'all saw it from beginning to end. You all, not only did I start a YouTube channel, now this one just humbles me and it almost takes my breath away because I wasn't trying to do this. I inadvertently started a business, a whole money making business. I had to sit back on that one. And Tracy Collins is here to tell the truth. She knows it is true. Tracy was here and she asked me, she said, Sandra, just as innocently, just as sweet. Tracy said, Sandra, she does business. She does all things entrepreneurship. If you're starting a business, see Tracy. She can help you. She knows about infrastructure and how to get it started. She offered her services to me on myself, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. I think this is a hobby. I said that to her. I think she saw something I didn't see. I didn't see a business. I thought YouTube for me was about conquering a fear. It really was. It was about conquering a fear of doing this. Y'all know I almost had a panic attack when Stephanie and Rashida interviewed me. I did have a panic attack. I did, actually. When it was over, I had a straight up panic attack. So YouTube for me was never really about, marketing and having a business. That wasn't it for me. I wanted to get over a fear of speaking and a fear of putting myself out there. And I did that. And I promise you, I need to get back up with Tracy because Tracy is a genius. Y'all, I need a VA. What is that? I need a virtual assistant. And I owe so many sisters. That's where I was going with this, with Exodus women are the absolute best. Exodus women, you're not going to find finer women anywhere on the planet because these women have been with me from the beginning, y'all. I mean, from the beginning. This was just an idea. Sonia knows. I thought I would open up this computer, talk to it, and I might be talking to my kids, maybe some of my friends from home. I really did. I really thought I'd be lucky if 10 people, 10 people tune in to hear what I have to say. It couldn't have been, it was like a miracle. It was like a miracle. A whole community opened up, and I am so grateful. But as a result of that, you guys, this thing took off like gangbusters, and I wasn't prepared. I'm not a business person. You all know me. I taught elementary school for 30 years, almost 30 years. So I didn't know anything about how to structure a business, answering emails, invoices. What the heck? And so I have to right here, right now. There are two sisters, and I think they're both Lisas. I have to apologize to because my internet. Everybody knows the internet in PDC is sketchy at best, depending on where you are. And I missed two of their appointments. And you all, it's nothing worse if you're like me than feeling like you didn't give great customer service. But when I tell you those women could have been angry, they could have bad mouthed me, they could have done a number of things. They were well within their rights because I flat out missed them, either because of a technicality or whatever was going on. And they waited. Oh, Lord. Oh, the grace shown in this community, hands down. I'm a believer. This is my tribe. These are my people. And I appreciate that. And I totally plan to make them whole. But I think the way it jumped off so quickly, y'all, I wasn't ready. I had no clue. And so now I have to kind of backtrack just a little bit and put in place business infrastructure because I'm trying to do it all. I'm answering emails, I'm creating content, I'm posting. It's a lot. It's more than a notion. And so, wouldn't you know, as with all alignment, as the way all things align, as soon as I realized, oh Lord, I need help. I need help with this business because I don't know how to do business. Rashida started a class. Something fell in my mailbox today. It was like $25 for this class about how to build, your business from the ground up. Tracy has been nothing but a source of, she's like, Sandra, I'm waiting right here. Tracy, yes, she loves all things business. Tracy is all things business. So to be in alignment with your purpose, I'm telling y'all, set an intention and start working your plan. You can manifest in real time in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. If you're not manifesting in real time here, I guarantee you it's not Playa. I've talked to too many women who have come to come here and just went to work. Lisa Riley, my beautiful friend, has a group, Hermana, I think it's Woman to Woman, where she partners local women with expats and they work together on business ventures. You all, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to oversell it because wait till the end when I tell y'all the things I hate about Playa del Carmen. You're going to be like, okay, okay. But I cannot go there without really seriously paying homage to the city that embraced me. I mean, the country that embraced me. And Mexico treats us so much better than as Americans, as a country, than we treat them. They have been so welcoming. I mean, it's unbelievable that I was able to come here and so quickly become a resident, and I'm grateful for that. So I was able to accomplish all those things, started a YouTube channel, started a business, hired 2 life coaches, and guess what else? This is just some personal stuff, but I'll share it with y'all because y'all know me. I am learning compassion. If you didn't grow up in a compassionate house, you understand. Raise your hand. If you didn't grow up with, in my house, it was get it done. Get it done. Don't slow this train down. There wasn't a lot of compassion, and I have been able to slow down and examine my interactions with people, and through a lot of self work, just understand the importance of being compassionate and showing others compassionate. But the truth, y'all, the real lesson was being compassionate with myself, showing myself compassion, knowing when to say enough is enough. And I had to do it, y'all. And it's hard because if you're coming from America with that go, 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 just like I was, you bring some of that with you. Just because the sun is shining, palm trees, that doesn't change. And so I've had to learn to be compassionate with myself and to show myself grace. And in doing that, I've been able to do that with other people around me. Yes, Exodus women absolutely rock. And y'all gonna be mad at me because I'm telling all of it. I'm telling it all. I can tell the difference. I said what I said. It's my life. I said what I said. Women who have come through Exodus, they're the first to help. They're the first to volunteer. They will give it to you. They will give you the list. They will put you in the group. They will welcome you with open arms. They don't want anything from you in return. They're not looking at you like, I promise you. And yes, I will say it again. I have encountered hundreds in a year's time. Yes, I have. And everybody here knows me. I've probably dined with all of them, and when I tell you, in my humble opinion, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, there is a difference. We have a way of thinking. Exodus women have a way of thinking. They have a way of interacting. There's this social kind of responsibility that we have to one another, where even if you were going to misbehave or do, even if you were going to, you reel it in, because what you realize is that that sister knows all your other sisters. And you don't want to be the one, you don't want to be the fly in the buttermilk. And so it keeps us honest. It keeps us interacting with one another in a respectful way. And I love it because I guarantee you there are some women out here who are not governed by that. I've run up on them, and you ought to see me. My best move is the moonwalk. I don't fuss. I don't fight. I'm not explaining why you can't get in touch with me anymore. I'm not explaining why me and you are not at the spa anymore. Because the first time that nasty shows up, I got 25 sisters over here that don't do that. I'm getting ready to get over here with those 25 sisters that don't do that. And so, if you happen to be within earshot of this, if you aren't affiliated with Exodus Summit, it's not too late. Find you some Exodus sisters, get with them. They'll teach you, they'll take you under their wings. It has been a blessing for me in this space, the space in itself, Playa del Carmen. I promise you, I'm not shooting y'all no sunshine. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to the bad part because it's there. You already know. But overwhelmingly, this place has blessed me. It has cradled me. It has shielded me. I'm not even exaggerating. Y'all know my story. I left Chicago. I was sleeping with a 9 millimeter on my chest. I slept that way every night. I sleep here, y'all. I have a patio door. It stays open. My neighbors, it stays. Of course, I'm up on the third floor. Nobody's gonna shimmy up on the third floor. But there's that sense of safety here. So all those people in the states that are telling y'all and planting those negative seeds of be safe, uh, don't. What about the cartel? If you've been here 3 days, you already know that's a lie. It is not for you to be concerned with. Rashida Dow said it first. I have no business with the cartel, and the cartel don't have any business with me. They're not looking for me, and I'm not looking for them. We steer clear. The only interaction that I had with the police here, I've told this story before too. I lost my cell phone. They found where it pinged to. I called the police. They came and personally knocked on the woman's door, told her, let this black woman walk all through your house searching for her phone. Turn on her phone, let it ring. Nowhere in America, nowhere would a police officer have escorted my black self into anybody's house and said, go find your stuff. It would never happened. And I felt so bad. I wanted to apologize to the woman and give her some money. I really did. But she was so gracious. She wasn't even put out. Could you imagine that scene in the US? Never would have happened. Still didn't get my phone back, y'all, but it was the thought. It was they were totally there to provide, protect, for real. Me, little old me. And I've never felt that anywhere else. So I felt safe here. That thing about safety. Now, we're not stupid. I don't walk out in a bikini at nighttime in the streets. I don't do that. I don't walk out with money, hanging out my pocket and just valuables lying around. Reasonably safe, but never am I concerned for my safety here. And in this year's time, I have traveled through, I forgot how many states, but I have been to at least, by the time the spring comes around, I will have traveled through between 10 and 12 states in Mexico in 12 months. You all, I got a lot of stuff done here in 1 year's time. So if you come to Mexico, I don't know about all of Mexico, but I can only speak for Playa del Carmen because this is where it happened for me. I was able to heal, rest, rejuvenate, connect to sister friends, build alliances, start a business, y'all. I can't tell you enough. But the key is you. It's you. You're the key. Because here's the truth. I've seen it. Anybody can buy a plane ticket. Anybody can buy a plane ticket. Healthy women can buy plane tickets. Wounded women can buy plane tickets, and they do, and they land right here. So you're going to encounter everybody. But I promise you, if you have a purpose, if you set an intention and you have a plan, you'll be so busy. I was so busy back here. People were literally asking, what's wrong? What happened? Where is she? How come she don't come outside no more? Y'all, I was back here building and didn't even know it. I was back here building and I was able to do it because I could focus. I had everything was easily accessible to me. And I want you to have those things too. Okay, so what else do I love about Playa? Great beaches, depending on the time of year. Again, you guys check out Playa. There's some really great seasons you should come and some that are not so great. Playa has a rainy season or a hurricane season that happens, I want to say, sometime between July and September. It's really rainy and you can have some really inclement weather. So consider that. Also, if you come, oh, when is it? Around that time too, you'll see tons of seaweed. The seaweed has cleared up now, but then there's still the remaining smell sometimes from the seaweed. So while the beaches are beautiful most months out of the year, there are a few months out of the year where the seaweed is out of control. And if nobody tells you that and you roll up here and see that, you'll be disappointed. I want you to know. Look it up. I want to say that it runs almost up till September too. I don't know exactly when seaweed season is, but it's bad. It's really bad. It smells. It's not a good thing. And we talked about, finally, I talked about the spiritual opportunities to grow and that you can manifest in real time in Playa del Carmen. So there you have it. Those are the things that I love about Playa del Carmen. And so I'm sure you guys are waiting to hear the things I don't love. And there are a few. There are a few. There are a few. And so I'm going to start right off at the top. And this is not in any particular order, but I'm going to tell you one of the things that gets my goat. And I'm telling you, it's probably right up there with one of the reasons why I'm packing. Because for me, this is almost, it borderlines on rude and disrespectful. Taxis. I said it. I said it. I said it out loud. I do not appreciate the whole taxi culture in Playa del Carmen. In Mexico City, there's Uber. In Merida, you've got Uber. You've got ride shares. So you and taxis. Because in Mexico City, you got taxis, ride share. You have a plethora of public transportation options. Not so much here. You've got collectivos. There is a city bus. It's pretty much on par with collectivos, and you've got taxis, and you can maneuver around it if you're in a walkable place, but inevitably you're going to have to get in a taxi at least once. And the way they price them, the fact is that if you get in, they're going to try to do you. If you aren't a local, if you aren't here, if you don't speak Spanish fluently, there's just so many ways. It's just so aggravating. I hate it. I hate getting in them because they will try to overcharge you, and they'll overcharge you at nighttime. They'll overcharge you or they'll upcharge you if there's some kind of big festival going on. They'll upcharge you if you're going to particular neighborhoods, like my neighborhood. I get overcharged because of the neighborhood that I live in. I hate it. I hate it. So typically a taxi should cost you somewhere between 50 pesos and at the top 100 pesos. I mean, seriously, you're just getting from point A to point B. Anywhere in Playa, you should be able to get a taxi for 50 to 100 pesos. Why is my taxi ride 200 double the price to come from my house? It's gringo pricing. Yes, Johnny, you already know it's gringo pricing, and I hate it. That's on my list because they not only gringo price you here with taxis, you can get gringo priced with anything in Playa. And you want to know why? Because it's a tourist town. Playa is a tourist town. So if you're thinking of coming here, you need to know this. These are the things that frustrate me about Playa. I hate the whole taxi scene. I'd rather walk. I promise you, I will walk. I'll walk 7 miles easy before I jump in a taxi. The only reason I'm jumping in a taxi is if it's raining, I have something heavy. Other than that, I'm walking. I just don't care because I don't like that in my face. I know what the price is, and you just charge me whatever you want to charge me, and I don't have any, I have no recourse. Not my favorite thing. So there are other places that you don't have that to deal with. Okay, so yep, Johnny said it, gringo pricing. Let's just get to it. Gringo pricing is when locals pay one price and you pay another. Because this is such a tourist town, they do not differentiate between tourists and expats. So if you were in a Mexican town that wasn't a tourist town, let's say like Ajijic, maybe you've got a lot of expats. People know those are expats. They live there. They aren't just there for a good time. They aren't just there for a few weeks. They live there. You see them over and over again, the same people. I don't know if they have as big a problem there with gringo pricing, but it's a problem here because expats, tourists, all of us, digital nomads, everybody gets clumped into one bowl and you are a tourist. You're going to pay tourist prices, and it's just no way of avoiding it. I've seen it happen at the fruiteria where you would just think everybody's going to pay the same for bananas. No, no. I've seen it. So I think that it can be unique to small towns that rely predominantly on tourist dollars. Of course. So that's how they make their money. So of course they're going to take advantage when they can to make every dollar. I did not have this experience on this of this to this degree in Mexico City. I didn't have this experience even in Campeche or San Cristobal. They have other enterprises there where the population can make money. It's not just tourists. So every dollar here is seen as a tourist dollar, and baby, they coming to get it. And I just can't. I don't like that. I really don't, because I live here. You see me every day, sir. How many people come out with these balls, and you're gonna charge me $200 every day? This man asked me, the same taxi driver. I show him my ID, and it's not until I show him my ID that he gives me the correct price. I hate that. You know me. Why are we doing this? It almost feels like, well, one day when I don't ask, he'll take the 200 pesos when you know it's only 80 pesos. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I think maybe it's easier to do that when you see these people as people who are coming and going, not your neighbor, but I'm your neighbor. But I never really feel like they see me as the neighbor. They still see me as the tourist. And consequently, we get overcharged. Yeah, you'll hear things like, yeah, enjoy your vacation. And they've seen you. They say that to me too. The same men on Fifth Avenue see me every day. Do you want a tour? No, sir. I don't want a tour. And that can get old. So if you're coming to Playa, keep in mind Playa is a beach town. It is a tourist town. Gringo pricing is inevitable. There's no way around it. So that's two things. I can't stand the taxis. I hate gringo pricing. And here's another shocker: the internet can be spotty. Yes, the internet. I've been in two apartments on two totally different sides of town, and my internet performance is the same. There's certain places in the apartment where I am now that I have to stay here. You all see me. This is why I'm always shooting or doing the live from this dead dark spot, because there's no place else in this apartment that has a better reception. It happened to me in my other place on the jungle side. And I think it's partly to do with because all the places are built of concrete. They're concrete structures, all the walls are concrete, and it's just difficult for the signal to get through. So, if you are a digital nomad, if you work like I tried to do, if you're starting a business and a large part of what you do is online, check out your internet, check it out before you sign any agreements, run the internet check, have the rental, whoever the property manager is, give it to you in writing. Don't try to negotiate this after the fact. It's too late. Once you give them money and you're in the apartment, whether you sign a lease or it's just an agreement like I don't have a lease, I just have an agreement. It's too late. You're going to get manana to death. And that is my next one. Not just the iffy, spotty internet, but the manana. That's a real thing in Mexico. So it happened to me. When I got into this apartment, there were things that didn't work. And while my landlord is sweet as pie, she meant tomorrow, mañana. When is the man going to fix the dishwasher? Mañana. Oh, okay. When is the man going to fix the air conditioner? Mañana. They mean that. They mean that. They mean that. And it's across the board. Nobody is moving fast here. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it allows you to slow down. It allows you to catch your breath. It allows you to adjust to a different pace of life, which is so good for your soul. It has been so good for my soul to not be in a rush, to show up to dinner late and nobody is really put out, because we are all adjusting to this newfound kind of ease. I love it, you all. I love it. I don't like to go places late, but now I don't have that anxiety. You know, when you're rushing trying to get someplace, now everybody knows have an extra cocktail, have an appetizer. You know what I'm saying? It'll be okay. So it's a blessing in that regard. However, when you need something done and you want it done expeditiously, this ain't that. Mm-mm. So if that's going to stick in your craw, you're gonna have some trouble. You need to try to make that mind adjustment now. But manana is one of those things that I struggled with because I feel like I paid good money for this. I don't think I should have to wait manana. But that thing is real. Um Okay, now here's the one. This is going to be the one that blows you all away because this is really the one that's doing it for me, guys. I'm going to tell you, this is the one that probably is making me want to move on more than ever, more than anything. There is a lack of museums, libraries, parks, just cultural things. After you see the cenotes and after you see the ruins, I don't know if you're like me. I'm from Chicago. When I tell you there's a museum in every neighborhood, there's a Mexican museum, there's a Jewish museum, there's an African American museum, there's a museum of contemporary art, there's a museum of modern art. Hey, I need that in my life. I need museums. I need museums. I need parks. I'm talking about parks, structured parks that were intentional, not just a patch of land where they threw two benches. You know, Playa does not have good parks. If that's important to you, green space is beautiful, just green tree spaces where you might go walk and hike. That's not something that I have found. Now, just because I haven't found it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but in 14 months it didn't present itself, so I'm just going to assume that they aren't readily available. But for sure, there's a lack of museums and cultural things. And sometimes, y'all, I'm gonna say the bad word. It just makes me feel downright brain dead. Sometimes I want to go to a theater. I want to see a play. I want to see a concert. I want these things in my life. And but what you get in exchange, you get beach life and you get jungle life. And so there's a place for that. But to be honest, after an entire year of beach life, rooftops, spas, jungle retreats. And I tell you, I did them all. I did all the routine. I did all the ceremonies, y'all. I did the tea ceremony. I howled at the moon. I did them all. I promise you. You know I did. I reported it all. I went to all the spas. I went to all the rooftops. I went to all the little beach towns. I did all of that. I did all of that. If that is enough for you, you are going to be in total bliss in Playa del Carmen. But if you do need that cultural stimulation, if you need a library, if you're like me, I'm sorry, I thought I could do it, but turns out I cannot. I long for a night at the theater. I swear to God, I do. I long for a concert. I just want to walk through somebody's museum. I just feel smarter for being there. And I'm missing that piece of intellectual stimulus. I would love an old bookstore. Where's Kathy? Kathy was in Portugal, and oh my God, I was living through Kathy. Kathy found the most beautiful coffee shops with books and libraries and architecture. I was like, oh my God, that's my dream. I need that. And Playa is very, very, very light on that. But you can certainly find that stuff in Mexico City. Okay. Now here's this one is mine, and I touched on it before. In Playa, I'm sorry, I don't care where you live, you cannot escape the tourist. Can't do it. I tried. Y'all, I moved way on the jungle side, way on the other side of the highway. Nobody's coming over there. Tourist. I looked up, it's an Airbnb. Oh my gosh. I moved all the way to Playa Car, y'all. I'm behind the gate, a moat, and a 6-foot fence. And what's in my pool? Tourist. I told y'all I woke up the other day, it was a butt naked baby in the pool with a pizza floaty and a donut floaty. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not sexy. That's not what I signed up for? I did not sign up. And I promise you, when I looked over, the poor mother was so tired. She had another toddler. What? Daddy off playing golf. Lord, no, I don't want to live with these people. And this is where I live. I live here. And so I don't want to live with tourists. And you can't really escape them. Even if you live in a local neighborhood, when you go to the store, you're gonna run into tourists. When you go into Central, they're tourists. You can't get away from them. And there's just no place that I've been where they aren't. I don't care what the building is, unless you have a single family home that is way deep, 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 deep into the cultural, local scene. Maybe then maybe you won't see them. And I have gone into some really local neighborhoods, but heck, I'm a tourist. I was there. You can't escape tourists here in this tiny town. I'm sure it's different. Like if you're in Mexico City, Mexico City has its share of tourists. They probably receive more tourists than Playa does. But because it's such a big city and they can spread out, you aren't inundated with tourists. So I think that's part of the reason too why you can't escape gringo pricing, because it's just so intermeshed. And I think I'm over it. These last two guys are going to be kind of touchy because one of them really isn't my concern, but I have heard women say this. So if you're a female looking to date, that there are two camps. There are women who I've heard say, well, it's no black men down there. Well, I hope you didn't come all the way to Mexico looking for black men, because you had black men where you left. But that is a fact. That is a fact that you aren't going to roll up here and find a club full of eligible African American men waiting to date you. However, that's a concern for somebody else. It's not a concern for me, because I personally come from the school of thought that my grandma said, like the ones that like you. He could be purple, blue, he could come, I don't care where he comes from. If he likes me and he treats me well, I don't care. I couldn't care less. So I don't see dating here as a problem, because I'm open to whatever life presents for me. And I'm okay if he happens to be German, or I don't care. I really just don't care. I don't care. But I know women who do. And so I just want to put that out there, that the dating scene, you may have to have a paradigm shift. You may have to shift some of your thinking if you want to date. And let me tell you this, yes, there are Black women here who are dating. And I don't mean that fetishized thing that we talk about, because I've never been more fetishized than I've been fetishized over in America. Oh my goodness, we've all got the cat calls and the body part shout outs. We've got that. I've never had that happen here. I've never seen it. Well, have I? No, no, not the way it happens in the States. I know women here who have found love. I'm talking about real love, and they are happy. So if you're open to dating outside of your race, if you're open to being loved by someone else, I don't see dating being a problem in Playa. But if you're coming here with the standard kind of, I'm looking for someone who looks like me, they're here, but I'm just keeping it real. Most of them, why? They're looking at other folks. They're looking at all the panorama of beauty that's on display. I mean, why wouldn't they? I got a son. I mean, I couldn't imagine him coming down here saying all these beautiful women, all these many, you know, you get what I mean, folks. Dating doesn't have to be a problem in Playa unless you make it a problem. And finally, this is my last one. And I'm going to tell you this one. I saved this for last because this one's the hardest for me. And I'm going to try to do it justice and explain it without making this a hot button topic, because I'm not interested in stirring up any controversy. But you all asked me to tell you, and I promised that I would tell you the truth about the things I love and the things I don't like. And here's one of the things that it just doesn't sit well with me. And there's this silence. There's like an elephant in the room. And I've seen people dance up to the conversation and we tippy toe around it. But you guys have to understand, I feel this. And if you're somebody who reads energy, you know what I mean? You know who you are. Everybody might not understand that language, but if you can read energy, if you can feel, if you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. There is this unspoken conversation that I think needs to be had. And it centers around, and I will say, foreigners coming to Mexico with their foreign money and prices being affected because we entered the space. And I count myself in that group as we, because I bring American dollars to Mexico. I pay more for accommodations than a local would pay. I'm not by choice of my own. I'm charged more in a taxi. I pay more for a taxi. Inevitably, that kind of financial influx has an impact on locals. And we don't want to really talk about it because I've heard people say colonizers. I don't consider myself a colonizer. I try to be the best global citizen I can be. I am respectful. I've tried to learn the language. I try to speak in Spanish. I try to spend my money not always at Walmart. I try to spend my money locally. So I try to contribute. But we cannot deny that the people who are here have a feeling about foreigners coming in, and you cannot deny that prices have gone up. And you cannot deny that there is some resentment. And so that has been something that I feel it. I feel it. Do I feel it in a way that it makes me want to pack my bags and leave this wonderland? No, no. But I can't turn a deaf eye or a blind ear. Is it that right? A deaf ear or a blind eye? I can't turn a deaf ear or a blind eye to the fact that that's real and it exists. And whether or not I have the conversation in some community meeting or the community and locals, however, you all, if you don't acknowledge people's pain, it'll show up. And the way that it shows up sometimes is being overcharged, being gringo priced, or not being considered. I had a friend tell me she was waiting in line to check out, and a couple of local people walked right past her, and they were expecting the cashier to ring them up because they just dismissed her. And the cashier told, no, 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 you go back. She was here first. That happens. There are people who have a feeling about us coming here and spending our money. And so because I have a heart and because I feel that, it impacts my enjoyment, not to a great degree, but it's there. And so I want to be considerate. I'm always looking for an opportunity to share. And so those are the things, really briefly, that kind of make me think there might be a better place for me. And in terms of a better place, here's what I know I don't want. I don't want a small tourist town. I found out I'm not even a beach girl. I found this out in my travels, y'all. I thought I was a beach girl. I am not. I am a pool girl who likes to slow travel. I don't like small towns. I'm a city girl. I didn't know this about myself before I started and embarked on this journey. For real, thought I was a beach girl. I thought I wanted to live in a beach town. I told everybody before I retired, I'm going to the beach. I did. I went to the beach too. It was great, but it's not my happy place. Water makes me happy. Mountains make me happy. And so I learned all of that stuff by taking this journey. So, what I will leave you with is that if you are intending to relocate and Playa del Carmen is on your list, I say go for it. 2 thumbs up. Playa del Carmen makes a great place to expat, to take a sabbatical, to slow travel, because here you can find space. You can rest, rejuvenate, you can heal, you can do all of those things. I don't know. If you're looking for culture, if you need city life, if you're a city dweller, you need 24-hour things, you need those conveniences. This might prove to be a little frustrating to you, particularly with no ride share. Now they say ride share is coming and there's supposed to be some big train coming through. The Mayan Express, I think it's going to connect Cancun, Playa, and Tulum. They also say that Uber is coming. You guys, that's going to be a fight. They just had some big article in the news about taxi drivers chasing down an Uber driver in Cancun, and the Uber driver had passengers. These people, this is their way of life. This is how they make money. Um, you think they're gonna give that up easily when that's all they have? You think? I don't know. I could see there being some, maybe a little ruckus over, and I don't want to be here for it. I promise you. I am headed to a place where they already have Uber, they have museums, they have pools and rooftops. I think I'm going to be happier in, y'all already know, I am headed to Guadalajara, which is the second largest city in Mexico. It is referred to, I think it's like Little Mexico. And just from my research, they're cute neighborhoods. It reminds me a little bit of Spain, and that they have these parks and like the Zocalo, the center with all these parks and museums and libraries. There's a university there. Oh my God, there's a university there. I cannot wait, because you know, where there's a university, there are young people and new thoughts and classes and teaching opportunities. And I'm sorry, I need that in my life. I had a great time. Yep, CDMX is like that, y'all. CDMX is kind of like that too. Oh, thank you, Janella. Thank you, guys. And I don't know, I didn't get permission. Yes, D said it, so I can put it up. Dee said it's the Silicon Valley of Mexico and the financial hub of Mexico as well. And I can't wait to see it. It has nothing, it is in no way a reflection on PDC. I am not leaving PDC because something happened. Oh my God, people who don't know you, you know how, well, you know how the devil is. Anytime you look happy, somebody running to me, what's wrong? It's nothing wrong. I have outgrown the space. This space gave what it was supposed to give. I promise you all, I came in here, I knew what I wanted in a sisterhood. I got it. Not only did I get the sisterhood, you all, I got an extended community. I created it. All of that stuff happened right here in Playa del Carmen for me. These are things that did not exist 12 months ago. 12 months ago, I didn't have a YouTube channel. 12 months ago, I wasn't trading. 12 months ago, I didn't have a YouTube community that trades with me, that rides with me. Oh my God, that supports me. They wait on me. They let me rest. They encourage me to rest. Where do they do that? Where do they do that? I didn't have that. So I've accomplished those things. I've made winning in education. All these women that you see in this chat, all these YouTube channels, these women have held me down, have encouraged me. I didn't have any of this 12 months ago. You all know I will cry in a New York minute. I didn't have it, C-Bar. And to have created it, because you all, it started as a thought. I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted sisterhood. I knew it. I asked for it. I'm telling you, that's the intention. And then the plan is you get in here and you work it. So you put something in place and you create those things. You can do that in Playa. So I'm speaking directly to any woman, anybody, any human. If you're home, if you're in the States, you're tired, you're worn out, you overworked, underpaid, stressed, anxiety attacks, that was me, all of the above. Can you find peace here? Yes. Is it affordable? It can be. You can pay anything from $400 a month. You're going to get what you pay for. You can pay all the way up to $2,500 a month. You're going to get what you pay for. $400, you'll probably be in a very local neighborhood. It might not be green, all palm tree and, paved sidewalks. You might put the trash out on the sidewalks, but you could get your butt in a place for $400, and then you have your budget to travel all over the world. If that's what you want to do, you could make this a home base. You could find a place, I think, more realistically. This is just me. Realistically, someplace that you don't mind going into, you feel joyful when you go in. I personally say somewhere between 800 and $1,000. That you can get in someplace nice and modern. With that, your location may not be beachside. You may be on the other side of the highway, or you may be um, blocks away from the beach. But you can certainly find a modern, updated, fully furnished place on the other side of the highway for $1,000, between 800 and $1,000. Once you cross on this side of the highway, prices go up. And the closer you get to the beach. Now, if you can find a private landlord and work something out, that's the best way. I do not advocate for realtors any longer. I used to, but once they told me the game, I had a lovely young lady tell me the game that when you give your deposit and you've used a realtor, the realtor gets the deposit. That's why so many people have problem getting their deposits back at the end of the lease, because there is no deposit to give you back if you used a realtor. When you give that 1 month's rent and that 1 month deposit, the landlord takes a month's rent. The realtor takes the 1 month deposit and he is gone. So at the end of your lease, when you're saying, don't I get my deposit back? Your landlord's going to give you holy heck, because there is no deposit and he doesn't want to have to cough up that cash. So I would say if you can do it without a realtor, try that. Go door to door, go use word of mouth. Facebook Marketplace. And if you'll hit me up, I've got tons of WhatsApp group contacts for real estate, where you just go straight to the source. You tell them what you want, somebody has it, they match you up. That is the best way. Another way is to get an Airbnb, maybe for a week or two, and then hit the ground while you're here and go door to door and do what we just said. Start talking and networking and let people know what you need. But if you're going to go through a realtor, just know that you may not get your deposit back in the end. And so I think I said everything. The things I like, the things I don't like. I can't think of anything else. So yes, I am joyful. You all know I'm ready to go. And I it's, how do you say that without people thinking, "Oh my God, what went wrong?" It's nothing. What's wrong with that place? There's nothing wrong with this place. It held me down for 14 whole months in a foreign country. I never felt afraid. I got great friends. It'll always be number one in my heart. It just is not, I don't see Playa del Carmen being my forever home. And it's only, I could see myself maybe here 6 months out of the year, but I have to go away. I have to go to, I promise you, I just have to see it. I came out to see the world and I want to see the world. Yep, Sonia's telling y'all the truth. On the beach side of the highway, things at $3,000 for an apartment. Yes, you can find it. Everything you want is in Playa. So if you guys have some specific questions, you can drop them in there now. What is the cost of eggs? Eggs are reasonably priced. We don't have that, y'all. Red eggs, a dozen of eggs, maybe $1. On the outside, $1.49 for a dozen of eggs. Food costs are nothing like what you guys are paying. Fruits, vegetables, still very reasonable. Bottled water, reasonably priced. I can't honestly say, this is just my experience, that I have seen a real uptick in food prices. I'll tell you what I have seen. I think taxi prices are creeping up just a little bit. So instead of maybe 50 pesos, now it's 70 pesos, but just a little bit. Other than that, no. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yep, food prices are very reasonable. Um, See, I don't know anything about like buying cars or anything like that. So I wouldn't be able to help you with that. But I will tell you, rents are creeping up. Yes, they are. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but I feel like it's almost, they know, they take advantage of the opportunity. People will pay. And because when people are on vacation, when tourists are on vacation, we've all done it. We've all gone to Disney World or Disneyland and paid $30 for Mickey Mouse ears. Why would you do that? Why would you? Because you're on vacation. You only buy them once. And so that's the mentality. Those people are here. I watched a couple do it right here in my building. The airport shuttle dropped them off, and he was telling them it was a straight up shakedown. He was saying, "Oh, no, 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 this is not enough money." And so the husband is now getting frustrated because he can't calculate, he can't exchange in his head these dollars and pesos. And the wife just says, just give it to him. Just give it to him. Just give it to him. She was embarrassed. She didn't want to be embarrassed like they were squabbling over these dollars. And the taxi driver was like, heck yeah, he could do that 10 times a day with, certain people. He ain't gonna do that with me, but he will do that. And he already knows that some people are just going to get frustrated, and they're just gonna say, I promise you that man gave him all the money he had in his hand. He's just take it, just take it. Well, that only has to happen a few times before things like that begin to impact the cost of taxis. Taxi drivers are going to expect that. Let's see. It says, have you visited Guadalajara before? And what touched you most besides the culture? No, I hadn't been before, but just like any of the other cities in Mexico that I went to, I researched before. Um, there's so much information on YouTube. YouTube University is the truth. It's free. And not to mention that we have Exodus sisters there. And I'm not going to say too much, but Dee, who's in the chat, she's in Guadalajara and she's a trader. And Dee was just like any Exodus sister. Y'all don't know. I've been riding on the coattail of Exodus Sisters since I came into the game. Tony from Rise Up and Bloom is in the chat. Tony talked me off the ledge, y'all. Tony didn't know me from a can of paint, had never laid eyes on me. I called Tony in full blown tears. I was still in the US, laying out flat on my face on my sofa because the sale on my house fell through. Tony picked up her phone. The only way I knew her, I saw her in an interview on Exodus Summit. Stop it. She didn't owe me anything. She picked up her phone. She did not charge me. That was her business. She had a business where she would do consultations. She didn't charge me not 1 cent. She didn't talk me off the ledge once. I'm pretty sure she probably talked me off the ledge 3 or 4 times. So when a sister comes to me, I feel obligated to pay it forward. I do. I feel obligated. Y'all don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. There's 70 folks in the thing. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Do all the things. Do all that stuff. Y'all help me out because this has been a journey. I started the channel about not even 6 months ago. And my goal is to monetize and get to 1,000 subscribers. So help a sister out. Go and hit that button. Cost you nothing. Tap, tap, tap. But Exodus sisters are the best. So a sister extended herself to me. I feel not even obligated. I feel like it's my duty and my honor to extend it the same way to you guys. So that's what I'm saying. Ask me your questions. What made you move to Mexico as opposed to Portugal? I had been to Spain the year before. And to be quite honest with you, the time zone, it was difficult. Spain is neighbors with Portugal. So they are pretty similar in time as it is related to time back at home in the States. And home for me would have been Chicago. It was just very difficult communicating with my grandchildren. It was difficult conducting any business that I had to conduct in Chicago because of the time difference. So, not to mention that flight, this is not a flight that you just book in the morning. Like the truth is, if something were to happen in Chicago, the flight is so reasonable. I could book that flight 7 days ahead of time and it's not going to even break the bank. You're not doing that when you're coming from Europe. It takes a little more thought. Travel, you don't move around as quickly and as easily. That could be anywhere from 14 to an 18-hour flight. And so, yeah, that's why I didn't pick. I wouldn't go back to Spain, even though I would go back to visit. I don't know that, now, my grandkids are still little. I don't know. We'll see because it was just a consideration. So probably just the time constraints, the time and proximity were the reasons. Let's see, what else do we have down here? When is your last day in Playa? My last day in Playa will be January the 30th. And then I'm off to my next adventure, next big adventure. And just so you guys know, I don't know that you all know, for most of you who are a part of Exodus Summit, we are having our meetup in Marrakesh, Morocco, North Africa, in April. So I'm going to just kind of bump around the middle part of Mexico until it's time to go to Morocco. So I will be in Guadalajara. I plan to go to Querétaro. All of you know our Exodus sister, Angela Barksdale Martin. I'm not sure if I got that right, but Angela just opened up an Airbnb in Querétaro. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get in, but I'm definitely going by to see her. I gotta touch bases with her just because I'll be in that part. I plan to go to San Miguel de Allende. Michelle is there with Casa Elm. I don't know if I can even afford Casa Elm, but I'm definitely going to see. I definitely got to just give her flowers. These women are miraculous. They've started these businesses, you all, in a foreign country. I just want to, it's, you know how you just want to touch the hem? That's how I felt about Kathy. When I met Kathy, I was like, oh my God, I just want to touch the hem of her garment. Can I just get close? That's Kathy. I have watched Kathy's videos, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm not I'm not a fangirl, but it's a beautiful thing. And then once I leave there, the last place I plan to go to is Guanajuato, and that's where they have all the beautiful colored buildings perched in the mountains. And so I plan to just do that and bump around there until it's time to get ready to go to Morocco. You guys, hold on one second. I got to turn on the air. It's hot in here. Hold tight. Talk amongst yourselves. What is the best area to stay in Playa? Okay, somebody in the chat, because Sonia can tell you some of the best places, and I'll be right back. I gotta get some air. And I need some water. I'll be right back. I need something. I'm coming, y'all. Oh, I got one more thing that I don't care for. Okay, well, let me do this first. The question: what is the best area to stay in Playa if you work remotely? I think you might want to stay closer to Central, because if your internet isn't great and you have to use maybe a co-working space, you want to be able to get to it easily. So you want to stay as close to Central. I would say anywhere between Benito Juarez on the south and say 5860 Colosio on the north. Anywhere from the highway back to about 10 or 20. If you can get in there, it's a nice little swath of land. If you can find something there, you can always get a taxi. You can always use Collectivo. That's a nice big stretch. What I would not recommend is where I am. Whoo, I would not. Let me say this. Let me repeat. Nirel has been back here. It's a couple of people in the chat who've been back to my spot. I don't recommend Playa Car for anybody unless you like solitude. I think Playa Car, and I knew this. I knew this. Let me drink this water. I knew this. But I thought I'd try it anyway. Playa Car is a gated community with a golf course smack dab in the middle. That should tell you something right there. It gives me very much retirement vibes. It gives me very much family vacation vibes. Um, Family vacation home vibes. Yeah, I'm way in the cut. I'm way back in the cut. Now, it's beautiful. I tell you what, I never have to worry about. I never have to worry about a rauncous party. That's never the case. These people pay good money to come on vacation, so they're not coming back here, getting sloppy drunk and falling, tearing things up. They're not doing that. That's not this. They sit out on their balconies. They have coffee in the morning. So if that is the kind of life that you want to live, and you don't mind sharing that experience with tourists, Playa Car is your place. It is beautiful. Let me tell you, it's beautiful. It's got the most beautiful tree line. I think personally, this is just my personal opinion. I haven't been everywhere, but closest, I think it's the most beautiful neighborhood close to Central. There are probably some more beautiful neighborhoods that are spread out, but yeah, because Mayakoba is beautiful. But Mayakoba is really a taxi right away. You can actually walk from Playa Car to Central. It's a nice walk, but that was what I wanted. I wanted someplace that was walkable. Playa Car is very much that. The sidewalks are very much more intact than in town. You can ride your bike safely. There's not a lot of traffic there, restaurants. So it's a self-contained community. But personally, I think oh, baby, you got to be wanting some kind of rest. And see, God knows best, because you know what I was able to do? That's why I was able to get so much done. I was locked back here behind the moat and the 6-foot fence and the security guards. It was a hassle to get out. So consequently, I stayed in a lot and I got a lot done. But now I've gotten that done. I'm ready to go outside. I'm ready to go outside and play. Oh, Angela says, I like the Zaha. Yes, the Zazaha. Zaza. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yes, that neighborhood falls in those parameters that I gave you. So yep, if you put that in, that's a lot, that's a place or a neighborhood that lots of expats like to live in, and that is centrally located. So yes, that's a good neighborhood as well. I'm just looking through the chat to see. Just any other questions? It says I chimed in late. Why are you leaving PDC? Well, in a word, I think my work is done here. As a matter of fact, it is what it is. My work is done. You all, in a year's time, I accomplished so many things. I promise you, I had to make a list. I conquered fears. I rested. I started a YouTube channel. I inadvertently started a business I wasn't even trying to start. And I have run into the most gracious sisters who have helped me, encouraged me along the way, tutored me, been patient with me, watched me, flub it up and didn't snicker. Oh my God. It's been great. But the answer to your question in short is that I've done, I think, everything I've come to do. And I'm going to tell you this, because Playa del Carmen really is, they say there's some vortex or something here, y'all. I don't know. What do I know? I can only tell you about my experience. You'll know when it's time to go. Yep. This is just my experience. It is time for me to go, because now things that didn't irritate me irritate me. Things that weren't a problem for me. I thought I loved the beach. Now I can't stand the beach. That's odd. That's odd. That's a sign. That is life telling I can't stand the beach. I don't want that sand on me. I live in a beach town. That's not going to work. I discovered I'm not a beach girl. I am a pool girl. I like the pool. I don't want to be bothered with the sand. So I think it's just time. The universe has spoken. Playa, I feel like, is spitting me out. If I can say it that way, it's nudging me to go. It's like, okay, it's nothing left for you to do here. So that's why I'm leaving. And I'm going not too far. I'm going to Guadalajara, which is the Silicon Valley. D just told me. I had heard that though. The Silicon Valley of Mexico. It's like a small Mexico city. It's got all the things I love. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is that it's cold there, y'all. Don't be fooled. I looked at the temperature and it got down to like some 30s and some 40s. That's cold weather. I don't know. I got my gym shoes. I got a coat. I got my jeans, but I have not worn shoes I haven't worn shoes since I came back to Playa in January. I haven't worn shoes. No, I wear Tevas. That's all. I haven't worn anything other than something. If it doesn't have sleeves, if there's more sleeves on it than this, I'm not wearing it. So that's going to be, that's going to be that's going to take some adjusting. When it's time to go, Kathy, it's time to go. Yes. And it is time. And I just feel like Playa is saying that to me in the gentlest way, which is I'm uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable with the things that once made me comfortable. And y'all, seriously, Tony knows we did all the rooftops. We did all the spas. We did all the beaches. Lord knows I did anyway. I did all the restaurants. I can't think of any place, honestly. If you throw a name out, I've probably been. I went to all of the apartment buildings. I checked them all out when I was looking. So I feel like I looked at everything, and I still came up in the final analysis. I wanted more. And Mexico City, I was so smitten with Mexico City, y'all. Oh my God. I love Mexico City. The only thing is, I think Guadalajara might be a better fit because it's not as big. And I don't need the big, I just need the things. I need access to all the things. It's not as cold as CDM. Hallelujah. I hope not. Yeah, when it's time to go, it's time to go. Let's see. I'm just looking for questions. Kathy says, yes, we have proof that you did all those rooftops. I did them all, Kathy. Y'all, I relived my whole, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I was a mom. By the time I was 21, I had my first son. And so you grow up real fast. I was a teacher. By the time he was in kindergarten, I was a teacher. It was, so my whole life has really been dedicated to children, raising a family, teaching other people. There, I missed out on a lot of that. Y'all, when I came to PDC, a lot of that was I was making up. I was a teenager again. Who gets to do that? Who gets to go back and reclaim your teen? Who gets to do that? I did all the beach parties. Yes, I did the tequila. I did all of it, and it was a blast. I wouldn't change a thing. But when it's time, it's time. It is. And it isn't anything. Those things that I don't like about Playa, they're real. And I just don't think, it doesn't serve anybody for me to, nobody wants to be the girl that overstays her welcome at the party. You always want to get out. Like that's a good look. You exit, when it's time to go, and don't overstay your welcome. So, yep, Tony, it's time for me to move on. But you guys have to know, wherever I go, I always want community. I always want my Exodus sisters and any other like minded people, because you don't have to be from Exodus to be like minded. But I tell you, it is a far cry easier to really kind of communicate this. I feel so safe with my Exodus sisters. I never have to explain why. They may want to know the details or what's motivating me, but they're never asking me why. They know the why. They know that this is always a search for ease. This is always a search for your truest, most authentic self in a space that speaks to your heart and makes your heart sing. Because if it's not doing that, y'all, what are we talking about? We could have stayed in the States for that. I could have stayed in the States to settle. I could have stayed there. No, I don't have to. I can recreate these experiences. And I'm saying all of this not because I'm so great, but I'm saying it because you can too. But I'm going to say this. I'll leave y'all with this one. And this, I really am going to wrap up with this one. And if you have any other questions, put question marks in front because I can't really tell. Um, I will say this: if you are still home and you are planning, if you look at my channel, the intro starts out, we're all about money, investing, and mindset. And I'm going to tell you this without the investing part, money and mindset are going to play a huge part in how well or how peacefully, how seamlessly you transition from your life in the US to your life abroad. And I don't care where it is. If your money is not settled, and listen to this, I'm saying settled, I'm not saying a dollar amount because I think people think you need a dollar amount to get out. No, more so than you do need a dollar amount that's going to cover your expenses so that you can live the way you want to live. But more so than a dollar amount, ladies, this is what I would say: make it stable. Whatever it is, if it's your pension, social security, whatever it is, as long as you know you can count on it and it can provide for you the standard of living or the things you want. Because here's what you don't want to do, and I've seen it and it's painful to watch. Nobody can fix it for somebody else. I get it. We all want to get out. We all are seeking peace. But if you leave home prematurely when your money's not right, it's not fun. It's this ride is not fun if you're preoccupied. Because think about it. Most of us are coming out to heal. Most of us are coming out to build, rebuild, pivot. Those things require your brain. They require your presence. They require you to be present. You're creating. You cannot effectively create if two things are happening at the same time. Watch this. If you're worried about money every day, it's going to eat away at the quality of your experience. That's just been my observation. Another thing, if your mind is disturbed, hear this: the sun, the beach, tequila, rooftops, and beautiful sunsets, all that stuff can help change your disposition. Mm-hmm. It'll change it, but it's not going to change your personality. I'll say it again. It might change your disposition temporarily. Yes, because if you leave gray, cold, windy, cold, rainy, snowy Chicago and come to sunny Playa Del Carmen, yeah, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better for a little bit. Yes. But whatever demons are haunting you, if they were haunting you in the States, I hate to tell you this, a plane ride is not going to stop them from haunting you. If you are struggling, and I promise you, this is as real as it gets. This is as real as it gets. If you, and that's not to say, look, some of us need a change of venue. If you are suffering from anxiety and depression, you may need a change of venue, and it may provide you some measure of relief. But if you think that change in venue is going to undo generational trauma, it's going to melt away, it won't. I guarantee you it won't. If you think palm trees and rooftops and kikiing with your girlfriends is going to suddenly cure your anxiety, take it from me, it didn't. I suffer from anxiety. But here's what met me: I had the space, I had the time, I had a supportive atmosphere. I didn't have, like, I don't know about you, but I come from a Black family. If you go to therapy, you must be crazy. Something wrong with you. What's wrong? You crazy? You won't have that here. Everybody is on a healing, or enough people are here on a healing journey that's par for the course. They'll help you find a therapist. They will help you. But to think that you can come out here and make your money work and you haven't solidified that thing, I just don't want you. I would caution you. It can happen, but I'm gonna tell you, it will rob some of the joy from your experience. If you can, do yourself a favor, solidify your money before you come out, whatever that is. And it don't have to be $5,000 a month. It doesn't have to be $2,000 a month. That's just my humble opinion. But it has to be stable. It has to be something you can count on. Because if you're looking over your shoulder, you're not gonna have fun while we're snorkeling. You're not gonna, it's not. It will mess with you. And if mentally you're dealing with something, do understand that this place is not some panacea. It is not that. But it will allow you to slow down. There are a plethora of services available at your fingertips, and they're reasonably priced. And finally, can't leave this out. I saw somebody mention in the comments about emergency health care. This is my personal experience. I cannot tell you more than this. I got sick twice well, I got sick plenty of times in Mexico. First of all, y'all, because I'm the person, I'll eat food. Yes, I did. I was in Mexico City. A woman scooped some meat up out of a pot and fed it to me out of her bare hands. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I ate it. I was sick as a dog. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. Don't do what I did. You all, I had to go to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital when I was in San Cristobal. When I tell you, I pulled up to the hospital, I walked up. There were sick people, locals, all outside. Looked like some refugees too. Look at some people who might have been homeless. The security guard recognized that I was not a local. That man opened up that door. This is the God's honest truth. Walked me right to the front desk. I don't know why. I spoke with somebody, you all. I was treated for absolute free. I don't understand it. I went in because I guess maybe I told them what I thought was wrong with me, and he examined me. They did a full exam. I promise you this happened in San Cristobal. And I was sitting there. After he did the whole exam, he told me, he said, okay, you're going to need this medicine, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I think he wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I'm like, okay, that's good. At least I know what I'm going to get. And I sat there because in the States, you have to be discharged from the hospital and then they have to give you a prescription, right, for you to get your medicine. None of that. I sat there for like 45 minutes and the doctor came back. He said, what are you still doing here? I said, well, I'm waiting to be discharged. I'm waiting for the bill. I'm waiting for my prescription. He was like, there's no bill. There's no bill. He said, and that stuff I wrote there, he said, you just go to the pharmacist, show him this and pay for the medicine. That's exactly what I did, you guys. And when I tell you that medicine cost me $10 cash money. I paid nothing to the doctor. I paid $10, went home, took my medicine. I had a second experience here in Playa del Carmen. Well, I did have to pay for the doctor, but I promise you, here's what happened. The taxi driver, a private driver, picked me up from my house, took me to 2 or 3 different doctors till we found the right one. Same taxi driver. Got out, jumped out. He interpreted for me. I cannot make this up. Finally, we got to the right doctor's office. He stayed with me. He talked to the person at the desk, told them my problem, the whole thing. He stayed. I sat with a doctor for an hour. I've never been at a doctor's office in an hour in the States. I don't care what was going on. I think I had surgery in less than an hour. that man talked to me. Same thing. Wrote me I didn't have like a real script, but he wrote it down on a little pad, what I needed to get. The visit, the medicine, the all-day driver that drove me around. Do you all know I spent less than $200? That was on a Saturday. I didn't have an appointment, nothing. So I saw the doctor, got my meds, and paid an all-day driver. Y'all, it was less than that, to be honest with you. I just can't remember. The medicine was next to nothing. I had an inhaler, cough medicine. I had about 4 or 5 different meds. So I don't know anybody else's experience. That's what happened to me. I went to the doctor. I don't know what to tell you. All prescription medication, for the most part, that I've had to get, I didn't have to have a prescription. I paid for it over the counter. I've never paid more than $50 for anything related to medicine here in Mexico. You guys have been here. You see all these pharmacists. There's a pharmacist on every corner. You can walk right in and tell them what you want. So I'm not saying that's going to be your experience. I am simply saying there are doctors that will do house calls under $50. Y'all, we drop the numbers in the chats. If you all need this information, when you get to Playa del Carmen, hit somebody up in the group. If I'm still here, if you can get in touch with me, and you probably will be able to, I'll just shoot you all the information. It is doable. It is doable. However, if you have major, something major that requires surgery or ongoing care, I don't advise that you come out here thinking you're going to pay that out of your pocket. That just seems a little reckless to me. So if you have a pre-existing condition, if you have a regular medication, you really want to get in touch with a great doctor. But in terms of the price, everything is way more reasonably priced. I have to see a dentist while I'm here. Everybody that I know who has come through here has gone through the dentist. I'm afraid of the dentist. Everybody knows it's the last thing on my list, but I got to do it. But again, a fraction of the cost of what it would cost you in the United States. So I think that just about does it. Oh yeah, Tony says she had an MRI for less than $200. You guys, I am not making this up. So I don't worry about like out of pocket expenses for things like if I have an earache or if I have a cough. Um, I don't know. Oh, I fell down once. I fell down twice. Okay, I didn't talk about that part. Everybody knows this too. Final thing, what I don't like about Playa del Carmen, the infrastructure's trash, y'all. Okay, you've seen the pictures. The sidewalks are really bad in some places. I fell off my bike. I scraped up my knee. I fell down off my shoes. I was just walking because I wasn't paying attention. Sonia stubbed her toe. We've all taken a fall. So if you have mobility issues, and I'm talking about real serious, you're in a walker, a wheelchair, you might, Playa's not the easiest place to navigate on the sidewalks. So, but if you are just, up in age like me and you move a little slower these days, that's not a problem. It isn't in disrepair like that. Um, any other questions? Did I miss anything? I need a dental implants. They're definitely wonderful dentists. One of them is called A1, and they are near Playa Car. If you're ever here, look them up, A1. And if you are in Playa, hit up the WhatsApp groups. They'll give you all of this stuff. I'm just scrolling through the chat to make sure doctors are at the pharmacy. Yep. No scripts needed. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it's very different. Medical care here, cost, very different. Another thing, I just keep remembering things. You guys, there is no post office. If you're not going to be getting mail here, and I don't mail things back. I've heard horror stories of people trying to receive electronics, having to pay high taxes on them, tariffs, all kinds of crazy things. So usually we use a mule. When you know somebody is coming from the States, you ask them to bring you your grits, your conditioner for your hair. We work together like that. Another reason to work cooperatively with your sisters is that we use one another and we rely on one another in that way too. I think we talked about everything. I can't think of anything else. Anybody, any final questions before we wrap this situation up? I think we talked about everything. We talked about healthcare. We talked about, um, yay. Oh, is Kim here? Hey, Kim. Nice to see you. Oh, you made it. Yeah, you'll have to catch us on the replay. Yep, Guadalajara for now. And then I'll be going to Querétaro, San Miguel, and Guanajuato. I'll stay here and then go home, drop some things off, and then off to Marrakesh for the Exodus Summit meetup. And after that, you guys, God willing, my real plan, which was my initial plan, and I didn't even tell all of you this, but after Marrakesh, I'm really going to do the traveling that I wanted to do. I go to, and Danny has helped me, Tosh has helped me plan the route. I'm telling you, get you some good friends, get you some good women around you. These ladies, just out of the goodness of their hearts, have helped me kind of lay out my route and just help me think and plan out my route through Southeast Asia. And ultimately, I wind up in Bali. So I start in Bangkok, and then I hit three cities, I think, in Thailand, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I know there are two, Singapore. I think it's Singapore and Malaysia, and then Bali. So that's it. That's what's, God willing, that is my course of travel over the next year. I never intended to come to Mexico, but when my house sold, when everything broke, it was the pandemonium, and Mexico was the only thing that was open. So Mexico it was, but it was never really my choice, you guys. Yes, yes. Who else? D, who else is in Guadalajara? Can somebody tell me who else is there? Who is this? Says I don't like boredom. So which city has action? I'm very young at heart. That's one reason I'm afraid to leave. Oh, then you need to go to Mexico City. I'm assuming I also think Guadalajara is going to be on par too in terms of activities and things to do. But Mexico City, take it from me. I mean, hands down, you will never, you could never. I was there from Christmas, before Christmas to New Year's Eve. And when I tell y'all I partied like I was a teenager, I never had that much fun. I partied all night long. Yes, I partied so long till I got tired and I left the other people. I was like, I'm done. Y'all can do this. It was almost daybreak, and we went from party to party. So Mexico City, I would say, if you need to have things to do, because they're cultural things, they open up, what is it, Paseo de Reforma, the big major artery, the highway, the street, and they close it off and you can ride your bikes. I think they do that in Guadalajara too. They may do that. I think they did that in Merida. Lots of cities do that. But yes, if you get bored easily, Mexico City, hands down. Hands down. Guadalajara has a lot to do. I'm not sure, not on the level of CDMX, but there's big fun here. Well, listen, not only is Guadalajara, listen, I want to go to Tlaquepaque. There are little cities that are nearby too. There are other things. What I like about Guadalajara is that it's kind of centrally located. You could go over to the coast and be at Puerto Vallarta. You are close in proximity to Mexico City. You've got San Miguel. It's like the idea of Lake Chapala, Ajijic. I haven't seen those places. So I kind of think for me, what Guadalajara is, it's probably going to get me because it's so centrally located. I think that's going to be the thing that gets me about Guadalajara, in that it is a city. It seems very manageable. It seems beautiful. It seems affordable. So I think those things, that'll do. I think that's going to be the thing for me. You're such an inspiration and joy to listen to as well. Congratulations. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, my namesake sister. Yep. And you all know, wherever I am, you are welcome to come. I will show, as soon as I learn it, I try to scream and tell it to somebody else. As soon as I learn the lay of the land, I'll be telling y'all. So hit me up. You already know. And D is there. But D, who else is there? Um, it does. It is perfect for me. I think it's going to be a better fit. I think the more I'm learning myself as I travel, and I this is what I say, vibracious life. If you are still home, take the time to study, travelers, and really be honest with yourself, because I think maybe I could have avoided some of the things that didn't fit me or suit me, but it was nothing like learning on my own. See, I'm an experiential learner. I hope somebody out there is the kind of person you can learn from somebody else's. That's not me. Somebody could have told me that, and I probably still would have had to have the experience to, I just would have had to have the experience. So I did bop around. That's not for me. I'm not interested in one home base where you stay forever. That's not me. That's like expatting. I'm not interested in finding an expat community and laying down roots and that's where I live forever. Nope. I think I'm a slow traveler. I am. I like the thought of a life where I stay someplace for 6 months and I suck up the culture. I eat the food. I get it. I live it. And then I move on to another place for 3 to 6 months. I could see me doing that until I just got tired, and came on back in. Let's see. Sometimes you don't know what you want. Yep. That was my case. Global Granny, that was me. I didn't know. And you all, I did have you all watched all the videos? I watched the Yarbroughs. I watched Wandering Soup, Cafe con Leche. I met them. I have gotten the chance to meet some of my favorite YouTubers too. Some of my favorite YouTubers are writing this chat. I'm telling you. So if you are dreaming of this life, y'all, it doesn't have to be a dream. I promise you, I was a teacher. I did not have an inordinate amount of money. I was not sitting on a stack of cash. I just did enough things right. And I was willing to make some sacrifices. I was not attached to my house like that. My house, some things had happened. My neighbor was tragically killed, which changed my whole feeling about my home, the neighborhood. So I understand. I had been in my house almost 30 years. I get it. Nobody, you think twice. You really weigh those things out. Do I want to sell my family home? I didn't have that. That wasn't an issue for me. Some tragic things had happened. My house had been broken into. There was enough. I'm telling you, a place will speak to you. Chicago was slowly nudging me. My job, the work environment had become so tough. Nudging, just a nudge, nudge. If you don't pay attention to the nudge will turn into a brick. Don't get slapped upside the head with the brick. Pay attention to the nudging. And that's why I am so in tune with the nudging that's happening for me here in Playa. I feel it. I know that it is time to go. And it isn't anything. Nobody did anything. Playa is as beautiful. I would tell anybody in my family, anyone I loved, to come here and start. Do I think this is a great fit for everybody? No, absolutely not. But for enough people, if you need support, yes, that's it. That's me until I get my nerve to travel. Yep. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions before we get out of here, I love the nudge and the brick analogy. Yes. Cause come on, haven't you been hit? I got hit with a brick. Oh my God. I stayed at my job way too long and got hit upside the head with a brick. Dun. Now you know. And I said I would never be that girl. I am never going to stay at the party. I don't stay at tables that are unwelcoming. I would have in the past because, just when you're busy and you aren't paying attention, y'all, I got stories. I could tell y'all. I overstayed. I overstayed at a toxic work environment that I should have long since been gone from. And so I don't need the brick upside my head. You can hit me once. I'm good. I'm a quick learner. I'm a brick. Yep. Oops, upside your head. That's exactly how it happened too, Tony. And it was nothing nice, but it was a great reminder that if it doesn't fit, if your body is telling you this ain't right, don't stay. There's no reason. There shouldn't be anything that should compel you to stay in a space that doesn't honor you. I wasn't being honored in that space. I was being taken for granted, mishandled, scapegoated, gaslit, the whole nine. That's toxicity. That's the very definition of a toxic work environment. I didn't know that. So hopefully you all know. So hopefully you don't do what I did. I stayed way beyond what was good for my health. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, y'all. So you all know where I'm going now. You are welcome to come and visit. I will still continue to do my live trading. I have to reconvene with some of my support. My girls support me: Marilyn, Lucille, L, Lady Vice. I'm telling y'all, it's been good. C-Bar, they're all here tonight. That's all my trading community. I could not ask for. I don't even know what I did. I must have did something right somewhere. I must have did somebody's children right somewhere along the way, because I have been blessed with just wonderful friendships and sisters. And you can't pay for that. You can't pay for that, y'all. No money. But I learned this too, that in order to have a sister, you have to be a sister. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. There's a cost to that thing in order to have the benefit of it. I mean, because you can have it for a little bit, but you have to feed it. You have to nurture it. You have to give your sisters their flowers. And I try to do it. I try to speak my sisters up. I try to make sure that I have something positive and uplifting to say to them, because that's what they've done for me. And if you need that, please connect with Exodus. Please don't go it alone. Don't go it alone. And my last and final, nix the naysayers. That's it. On that, we're gonna end on that. Nix the naysayers. If you have somebody in your life who is, I don't care if they're overtly saying it, like just flat out saying, oh, that's crazy. Why would you be doing that? Nix them. I don't care who it is. Find a place to put them. Get them out the front row. Get them out of earshot. If it's a family member, I'm sorry, I had to do it. And there were some painful cuts that had to be made, but I never would have made it, y'all. I never would have made it listening to the fears of others being projected onto me. And sometimes it's fear, y'all. Okay, and get ready. Sometimes it's plain hate. It's plain hate. These are people who have looked around and realized time has come and gone. They don't see it for themselves. They're never going to see it for you. Stop going to that well. Find these women. Get with Angela. Get with Kathy. Get with these women who are trying to do the same thing as you. Nix the naysayers. It almost took me out. I promise you, it almost took me. I almost didn't make it, y'all, because that it wasn't that I believe them, but it's just those little seeds of doubt. It's like when the house, I'll tell y'all exactly what happened. One of my family members, when the house didn't sell, because my house fell through, the sale fell through twice, y'all. And one of my family members quietly slid up next to me and told me, well, baby, maybe it just ain't your season. Whoo, whoo, sent a chill. I swear to goodness. And it didn't come from a good place. You know when somebody's talking to you from a good place. It wasn't from a good place. It was one of those, see, told you, it ain't your season. Had I listened to that, because for a minute I was like, oh, Jesus, maybe it's not my season. Why else wouldn't this house sell? Maybe it's not my season. It wasn't that. Y'all ever have something God hold you off just for the right time? You don't even know what he holding you for. Don't ask. Go with the flow. Cause I went with the flow, you all, and it turned out I couldn't have painted a more beautiful picture. I couldn't have dreamt this. It was everything and more. And I'm telling you, the people, the place, all of that stuff came together to make this beautiful experience. And so thank you all. That's it. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing it with me. And thank you all for being so generous. Shauna gets supporter. Shauna gets doggone supporter of the year. We cannot have a live. We cannot have anything, and Shauna doesn't show up for us. So thank you. Thank you all. And I will see you all. I will see all of you out here in these travel streets. And on that note, guys, I have nothing else. That's it. That's it. That's all. Thank y'all. Anybody, anything before I sign off here? Bye, Angela, my wonderful housemate from Cancun. We had a delicious, wonderful time at the cave dinner. Angela was here for that. I have such fond memories with every one of you all. I promise you, I can look through the chat and think, oh my goodness, we shared this or we shared that. That's priceless. That's abundance. Sorry, y'all. That's wealth. I pray to Jesus that my trading takes off. I pray to Jesus I can create some, generational wealth through that vehicle. I pray to Jesus that this YouTube channel takes off and that it'll be profitable. I pray. But the truth is, if none of those things happen, ooh, mm, I'm a rich and wealthy woman because I have my friends. Y'all made me cry anyway. And that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you more than I can say. And I will see you guys in the next live. Y'all got it out of me anyway. Love y'all. Talk to you all soon. If you have any questions, you guys can email me at fromlack2legacy.com. You can hit me up on YouTube and Instagram, the same thing. Yeah, I'm a crybaby. I cry. I've been crying for 2 weeks, y'all, just so you know. Bye, everybody. I'm trying to hold everybody, but yes. Love you guys. I love you all right back. And I'll see you guys. Join me for live. I think I'm gonna go live, do some live trading one day this week. I think I'm gonna do it Wednesday. The market's been crazy, crazy, crazy. And if you still haven't signed up, y'all give me some time. I'm gonna regroup this and revamp this business model because it just was a lot. It grew so fast, y'all. I couldn't accommodate everybody like I thought I could. And so I'm going to go back into the lab, restructure some things, and come back so that I can be the best at providing services to you guys. And if I miss somebody, please charge it to my head and not my heart. And I promise I'll make you whole. I promise I will. All right, guys. Talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.